Hello everybody and welcome back to the RLBot Championship 2023. This is the hard-coded bracket and it's a very exciting day because it's the last bubble sort of the hard-coded bracket. That means today is the day where we're going to find out who is the top 8 that is going to proceed to the elimination stage, aka the playoffs, and have a chance to become our next champion. And we have a lot of new bots and updates as well, so there's a lot of things that's gonna happen today. I am joined by Malaki, also known as That Guy Dead. Hello there.
Hello, it is lovely to be here. I mean, they say you leave the best till last, so that is why they've left me until the last week of the bubble sort.
Exactly.
But I was about to say, yeah, we were talking about this before about how many new bots there are, and it just means there's going to be so many games played today.
Yeah, we risk that this is gonna be a very long session, so we have a plan. We cannot be here forever, sadly, and the late submitters, they knew that this could happen, that it was risky to submit late. So here's the plan. We're going to play first to 3 today, like first to 3 goals, which was also the original plan, but we changed it to first to 4 when there weren't that many submissions. We have now reached that point where we are going to play first to 3, and we will then go up and down the ladder twice, and there might be a break after the first time. So when we hit the bottom for the first time, we'll take a break, and then we do it one more time, and then we stop. So the ladder might not be completely sorted at that time, but that's just how it's gonna be.
I was about to say, yeah, because it's looking like a lot of matches. I mean, if all of the bots lose if they're beneath, maybe we could be done in a single pass. You never know, but hopefully we get some interesting matches.
Yeah, I doubt this is the correct seeding. I have a feeling like some of the cheese bots could climb a bit. But what you can see here on the ladder is that it's about every second bot that has been updated, which makes it look like it's all of them, but at least it's only half of them. You can find the exact updates in the Discord channel if you're interested in that. But I think we should just get going instead of wasting more time.
Yeah, I mean we've got. I don't want to point anything out here, but I will say, looking at this first matchup of Sapphire versus Cheese version 0.1, I don't want to mention the fact that Sapphire is misspelt in the name. It looks like the logo has Sapphire spelt with 2 P's. The actual name of the bot is Sapphire spelt with 1 P. So maybe something to change. But either way, both bots already looking pretty solid, at least in comparison to some of the lower bots in hard-coded, although a bump from Cheese, not what they want to be seeing early on. And I mean, tell us a little bit about these bots if you know anything here, East.
I do not know too much, but I can tell you that Sapphire just got the first goal. Sapphire was made by Sophie, and actually Cheese was also partially made by Sophie, so Sophie is playing herself right now, with Joshua being the other collaborator on Cheese. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Joshua submitted a lot of bots today, and he is going to have to fight himself a few times.
But I mean, at least the setup of this match means that no matter what, Sophie cannot lose here. I mean, 2 bots that are made by yourself, especially at the bottom, like you said, it's probably not what you want to be seeing on the last bubble sort. But as this match is going on, it seems like maybe that first goal was a bit of a fluke for Sapphire there, as Cheese has been doing.
I feel like I've already seen a few good long shots from Sapphire, but defense here seems lacking. Cheese now answering back with a long shot from himself. And both of the Sapphires is not quick enough to catch up to that one, even though it was basically rolling.
And I mean, I think that is a very understated part of the two's gameplay. Most people probably focus on making sure their bots can attack, whereas we've seen, especially from this match, with a lofted ball there that doesn't make it in.
Good shot though, just on the post.
I was going to say, yeah, it is the defense that is just as important as an offense in twos, as Sapphire shoots it slightly high there. And I mean, neither of these bots have been making what I would consider a show on defense. They've been stopping the ball from going in, but it's been very scrappy as another clear there.
They had some
And
good shots, good opportunities. Here's another one, and this one will go in. Sapphire with the second goal, so only one goal away from winning.
To be fair, yeah, that is another thing. It's any mistake. With 4 goals, you can make a mistake or two. Here, you make a mistake or two like we've seen from Cheese, and they are stuck on match point. And with, I mean, it's only a minute and 30 in, so anything could happen within these next 2 goals of Cheese. Oh,
on the post and bar and then out.
What is he doing on the... What?
Okay, Cheese 2 comes in and finished that job. I think he hits 1 as well at the same time.
What on earth?
It
was a bump.
Almost a pull shot. But I think it was just a bump, yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible shot either way, and technically now on match point, and with Cheese taking possession off the kickoff, it's a good start, but he goes for boost over ball.
A light shot and then steals the boost. Yeah, it seems okay. Allows Cheese 2 to put on some pressure here. Now Sapphire's gonna be out.
Ooh, close shot there. Joshy did say to me before the stream started today that Cheese does like going for boost over ball, and I mean it is shown pretty well here, but at least there are shots coming on.
Sapphire. Ah, well, it looks like it's gonna be Cheese's game. He steals another one here by the post. Sapphire turns into a loop instead of just continuing for the ball. So that's game.
I mean, a pretty solid game to start out. It went to the maximum number of goals. Evan asking in the chat what Sapphire's decal is. I believe looking at it is Octane Dot Matrix. I might be wrong there because I don't play in the Octane, but I'm pretty sure it's Octane Dot Matrix, just set to very dark colors.
So Sapphire is gonna stay where it is, and we're going to see CheeseBot, or just Cheese versus RedBot. RedBot made by Savage Snow Goose. And also a bot we've seen before in previous tournaments, if I remember correctly.
I was about to say that, yeah, we were saying before, we'd seen it before somewhere. We're not 100% sure which tournament. I think it actually might have been the last, whatever, RLBot Championship 2022, if there was one. Because I remember the name from something similar to that.
Yeah, he's not a super active member, but his bot is actually okay. Let's see if he can beat Cheese in this match.
Ooh.
Oh, Cheese has left an open goal. Oh, that's RedBot, sorry. He was just shooting the wrong direction, that confused me. Okay.
Who knows who's going which way here, but I will say it seemed like whoever was shooting on that net had a massive opportunity and squandered it, but RedBot almost having another one, but it doesn't look like RedBot wants to jump much as pinching almost towards the net. I don't know, maybe you've seen it as well, but they're just not really jumping for anything here.
And I did see him go backwards a lot. But yeah, that's in any case, he's not gonna be able to save that one from Cheese coming in with good speed and a dodge shot.
Yeah, it's just completely grounded playstyle, and we've seen Cheese as a bot. It's jumping, it's flipping. To be fair, I think I've seen it aerial, or at least attempt to. As I say that, it goes for the double touch. Oh,
and hits the post both times. But well, let's see if we can...
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, it's the thought that counts. It was a good attempt, and it looks flashy. RedBot able to answer back here without that much effort, even.
I mean, it was another weakness of Cheese. I think Joshy told me before this is that Cheese doesn't know how to defend its own net, which I did say in the last game. In twos, knowing how to defend your net not necessarily is needed if you can attack strong enough, but it is very helpful as Cheese almost going for another shot there. And RedBot, they're not doing great on the defense, but they've been holding off most of what Cheese has been sending, at least so far.
RedBot with some crazy slides here when turning. And looks like he has possession. Can he get past Cheese? He gets past one. Takes it slowly around the corner, gets past another one. Both the Cheeses miss. And I think that's in, yeah. He makes it all the way along the the wall here, somehow getting both past both.
I'm just surprised on the angle myself.
Yeah,
It
and that
was
angle at the end, just enough for it to go in.
completely clean, slammed it into the post and up. At that point, there was nothing Cheese could do. But a strong kickoff here for Cheese is going to allow maybe an offense. I'm not sure what they're doing. They're just chilling in their half. It seems like they're loving life, going for boost before ball. They don't really want to hit it out. It seems like they're awkward on the wall. And RedBot, I mean, both of them. I'm not sure what they're doing either. It seems like neither of the bots really want to attack or defend right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stalemate right now. Bot is in the midfield. RedBot decides to go for boost. No, he doesn't anyway. He's turning around. That's not very convincing. That's a back pass to his mate, but it becomes a pass to Cheese instead. Cheese takes the opportunity and scores.
I mean, this is peak 2v2 RLBot gameplay here. It may not have been a pass to the right player, but it was a pass to a player and a beautifully finished shot from Cheese. Sadly, RedBot doesn't get an assist for that one.
Yeah, good reaction from Cheese. Cheese is also gonna win this kickoff by a mile, and that's a good follow-up. It's just wide though. Now RedBot's gonna take it to the blue half. Trying to turn that one in. It doesn't go too well. Cheese is gonna take a long shot here, and RedBot 1 is already out of position.
Not again. It was another pass middle from a RedBot to a Cheese. He just slid it on and Cheese was ready. It was beautifully placed and...
Yeah, beautiful sideways shot, man.
They knew the enemy was scoring at least. They said enemy scoring, but at the point where they saw it, it seemed like it was too late. They couldn't stop it. They own gold, and I mean, he's on his way up, but it's whether he can keep going because so far both of those first two games have gone to the goal 5 instead of, I guess, game 5 that we would see in a best of 5. It's instead a best of 5 goals, I guess, if you want to talk about it. But it is now going to be Cheese versus Cheese. I mean, which Cheese is going to win here, orange or blue?
I have no idea, but I do know that one of them is made in Python and the other one is made in C#, and I wonder if that's gonna make a huge difference. No, sorry, both of these are made in C#. Huh. Well, in that case, I think they might actually share a lot of code and use the Josh's cheese utils, a variant of the red utils, if I remember correctly.
I was about to say, I have in my notes that cheesing made with red utils very average, but what very average seems to be right here is better than cheese version 0.1 because that was a well-placed shot snuck by the side of that Cheese player there.
Looking in my console here, I can see that cheesing spams a lot of quick chats. You may not be able to see it on the stream, but it's going crazy.
Oh yeah, I can see it in that top corner there. It's just saying, oh, it's I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. They seem to want each other to know that they've got it, even though I'm not 100% sure whether they're saying it, but what they are getting at least is multiple breakaway plays. This is the second one they have managed to convert, and it's beautiful passing between them. I think that's what Cheese is currently missing in comparison to cheesing.
And Cheese 2 is just nowhere to be seen in that, making that an easy open goal. A neutral kickoff. Blue first to the ball, and Cheese decides to own goal that one. Wow, that looked very much on purpose, but as a user of red utils myself, I do see that kind of plays from time to time.
I mean, if you can't beat them, you join them, and it seemed like cheesing wasn't in a great position to save the shot. But what that is going to do is give Cheese the opportunity to bring it within equal, and once again with another Cheese bot. I mean, with two Cheese bots, I guess this time we are within a single goal game. Basically, it's whoever scores next wins and continues on.
Cheesing on the kickoff, how fitting for a bot named Cheese, and it does it again. Third goal for Cheese, yeah. This seems to be the bane of cheesing.
I mean, I myself am not very good at kickoffs, so I can see where cheesing's not enjoying this, because the amount of games that you can see where it's just a kickoff goes unlucky for you, or in this case, two kickoffs I think it was go unlucky for cheesing, and because of that, Cheesing's now stuck at the bottom. But what I will say is this: it might be helping Cheese get higher up, but it's really not helping us get those little locks on the bracket to make tonight go any faster. Really.
Yeah, I think I called it earlier, but I have a feeling these cheese bots might climb a bit, and yeah, that won't add any locks. Now, Cheese is going to go up against Neon, made by Sing. And as far as I know, this is a pretty new bot. Looks like it's also not made without any utils, and Cheesing is going to stomp on it within just 2 seconds, right off the kickoff.
I mean, there's only so far that kickoffs can take you, but at least against Neon here, it seems like it's, from this first one, going to go well for Cheese. But I do have a question for you here, East, okay?
Yeah.
What I want to know, did you specifically choose Neon Fields for Neon to play on?
I cannot control Destiny.
Damn. Okay, so it was just pure luck, but it's a hell of a coincidence. But Cheese now, as I was asking that question, another good shot. It seems like Cheese, maybe it's just me, but Cheese seems to be getting better here as it goes along.
Maybe I just needed to warm up. And finally we're going to actually have some plays here as Neon 2 saves that shot. How much longer will this be though? Cheese is coming in hot, and they managed to save it.
I mean, lofty balls like that, I feel like favour Cheese a bit more. We've seen Cheese go for the aerials. There was an aerial from Neon, but didn't really get much. But another stray shot almost sneaking by. I think only one defender able to get any kind of contact on that. But it's these awkward shots from Cheese that are going to decide the game. And this time it's a complete sweep in terms of goals. So maybe I won't say start finding the level, because I'm pretty sure Neon was a new bot anyway.
Yes.
So they're all at the bottom anyway, but BitBot will be the first, I think, major challenge for Cheese out of the bots that were already put on the bracket. So, I mean, that's the next match. And personally, I'm going to make a prediction here. Personally, I think Cheese takes it pretty quickly, because BitBot seems to enjoy bumping itself from what I've seen, which doesn't help for defense.
Yeah, let's see if that prediction is correct as I start the next match here. We now reach the point, yeah, where we are in or meeting the previous ladder, as it were, last week. So we are seeing some bots that we've seen before. Whether or not BitBot can beat Cheese is a good question. I have a feeling it might not be able to, because Cheese will still have that height advantage as we saw in the last game.
I mean, the important question we need to ask right now is, what was that BitBot doing on the wall? And why was he nowhere near the net when it happened? Because frankly, there should have been a BitBot back in defense off the kickoff, but instead he's just over, seems like in a different country.
Yeah, in that replay we didn't see a single BitBot.
That's impressive defensive strategy, it's all I'm going to say.
It's the John Cena. And now again they are very far away from their half as Cheese goes for an aerial. That does not connect though. BitBot now with possession. No, he runs away from the ball. Both of them does, okay. They are simply gonna leave it to Cheese and then hope for a breakaway. Nope.
Oh,
oh, that was good.
I'm not sure what we're witnessing right now, because frankly I've never seen the I'm faking air strategy work out for a player and running out of defense when the shot's being taken. They were there the entire time, but it just seemed like ball's coming, run away, I'm scared.
Yeah, that is also the gist of what I'm getting here of BitBot strategy. One away from the ball. The ball is lava. Or what's the bump game called?
I don't know actually.
Well, the ball is the bump. In any case, Cheese takes the victory here.
I mean, it was a good aerial touch.
6 seconds in.
But yeah, I mean, BitBot himself, I don't want to say anything rude about BitBot, but from what I saw there, it seemed like it thought the ball was in a different position to where it actually was, and so wasn't properly attacking the ball. Either that or it's some very weird defensive strategy, but all I'm going to say is I want Cheese to go even higher. You probably don't want Cheese to go any higher with the matchup of Phoenix versus Cheese, but I want Cheese to go all the way here.
Yeah, I think this is a good place to stop the win streak, if you ask me. Let's see if I'm that lucky. This is technically a Red Utils versus a Red Utils bot, so maybe it's gonna be a bit more fair than what we've seen so far.
I mean, you're saying that, but Cheesing was also a Red Utils and coded by by Joshy, sorry, himself as a shot. His targeting's just slightly too far forward, but for the person asking in chat, it has already been answered. But every single bot that you will see play today will have been written by a person, just all of the code, like if the ball is whatever, like in this case, if the ball's in front of the net for Cheese, take a shot. Obviously not that simple, but you get the idea. Whereas every bot that you will see play tomorrow, except for maybe one or two that does some kind of decision making only in machine learning, will be basically entirely trained in Rocket League, and the decisions they make won't be physically written by a person.
Yep. So I think that's a good short explanation of what a hard-coded bot is. Tons of if statements and math. And it's really hard. Ooh. Phoenix, take a shot here, please. Okay, that's right.
But either way, what I will say is that Phoenix not getting major attacks going. I say that there is a shot into the corner and Cheese. It's the boost over ball from Cheese. It seems like he was like, oh, I could defend. Wait, there's a pad in that corner. Let me go and grab that instead, and it's left that far corner completely wide. So a pretty good placement from Phoenix there.
Cheese seeing some difficulty in his climb finally, but he's still able to take a shot here and score another goal. 1 minute in. Now we have a scoreline of 2-1.
I think the game's just trying to stop your favoritism here, East, to be honest, because as soon as you say it was close, they score a goal. I feel like Cheese is going to win this kickoff. It's going to go basically straight into your net. Not going to lie, I think this is the easiest 3-1 win Cheese will ever see, but maybe Phoenix will change my mind.
I mean, we already made quite a few caster curses today, if we think about it, so maybe I should just start rooting for Cheese. And maybe we'll also be done earlier today, if I do that.
I mean, if Cheese loses this match, it will add an extra lock at least for us, but right now, not looking like either bot making any major headway on an attack, but as I say that, the ball is thrown mid, but both of the Cheeses just enjoying life in the corner.
Chasing that one now. As it rolls in, Phoenix somehow makes a very soft shot that goes all the way after both the Cheese bots has just pushed up a bit too far and overcommitted on that chance they had before.
Now, I mean, East, you've been doing this for all of the week so far. At which point are we expecting to see bots that consistently seem to rotate, as finally Cheese getting that last goal? But yeah, when are we going to see bots that consistently rotate and don't just both push in, it seems like?
Depends on what you mean when you say consistently rotate. We have bots that basically just stay in goal. Like, well, one of them will just take a goalkeeper role and only move out when needed. I mean, it's kind of some kind of rotation. We also have bots like Bribble, where one of them will go for demos while the other one has the ball. It's not quite a rotation, but it is roles. I don't think you really see your traditional human rotating capabilities in these bots, because that's the point where it starts to become really hard to make a good bot. Like when you have to consider both good shots, timing of things, where's the enemies, where should I be, where's my allies, who is the most dangerous enemy, and so all of that. That's where it becomes really hard, because now it's strategy, not just chase ball, score goals.
I mean, you say that, but I will say my strategy in twos is exactly just chase ball, score goals, and it seems to be working for me. So maybe they've just got to chase the ball hard, or not harder, but chase the ball with one person. Like you said, you had one person with a role of defense. I think maybe that is going to be the strategy, as a shot off the crossbar. And I mean, it's that chase ball, but it's this second man from Cheese that's always letting them down, as we see there, sat on the boost over the ball. And I think if Cheese figured out that there is things other than boost in the world, It'd be a good start, but a bump puts JBot in a better position. And now neither cheeses are in defense. What are they doing?
And JBot 2 is just stuck in the corner, trying to collect boots that he just cannot hit. I think he's just circling it or something. So that JBot 1 just scored that goal on his own. Impressive.
I mean, all I'm going to say is I pray at some point you do a tournament where somehow these corner boosts are completely disabled. Because I think if you get rid of corner boosts, or at least the 100 pads, I should really say, then people are really going to struggle. But a beautiful save from Cheesebot. And it is finally like Cheesebot has met his match completely, as JBot has been absolutely slamming on shot after shot here.
Oh, that's another one.
Oh,
and a finish from JBot 1. Nice place. As the ball just rolls up the post, JBot is able to finish that one before Cheese connects. Another thing that I will point out here about JBot, which the observant watcher or viewer might already have spotted, JBot plays very differently this week, because it has basically got a complete rewrite, and it's also in a new language.
Damn.
Previous week it was in Python, this time it is C#.
So that's a strategy. I don't think I've ever actually seen that used as a strategy in any of these tournaments. Completely rewriting your bot in a completely different language to improve it. Usually you just see, oh, I'm rewriting my bot, or I'm making changes that will
I'm
maybe
fiddling
make it better.
with numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
But Jayland just decided that this Gosling utils, nah, I'm gonna try the new one in C#. So I bet he just maybe just took his strategy code and seemed to, or tried to plug it in as well as he could, because it does have the good strategy.
And I mean, what I will say is it seems like this new version of JBot performs incredibly well against Cheese, as that is the worst result we've seen from Cheese. I mean, he hasn't even managed to score a goal there, which I think, yeah, it's not happened in any of the other matches because he won them all. So I don't know, but for the person asking in chat, what does the sorting algorithms in the name stand for? So what happens here, you can see on our bracket, we have a little circle with an arrow pointing up. That is the current direction of the sort and the bots that are being tested in it. So in this case, JBot and NoobBot. What will happen is that will go up, and if they win, they swap places. If they lose, they stay in the same place, and you'll see that lock appear, like what's just happened between JBot and Cheese. And then it will come back down, going the opposite way, and exactly the same thing will happen. And it will, in this case tonight, I think we're doing 2 passes through, and by the end of that, we're considering it sorted enough. So it won't ever be properly sorted. Like you said, there's some matches where it will be one bot does better than another, but in general, they will be sorted into the positions where they deserve.
Yeah. Lastman also mentions these cyclic relationships, and that's very true. We also sometimes call it rock, paper, scissors, where one bot is able to beat another one, and then another one is able to beat the third, but that third one actually beats the first one. And that's just not something we take into account. We just compare bots once by playing a match, and then we save that comparison. So you only get this very short match to show what you can do, and once that match is over, you're never going to move past that enemy again, because you will, as you can see on the ladder, there's this lock that shows that these bots have already played against each other. We do not want to, or we will not play that match again.
And I mean, that's another thing to consider. If you think of it kind of like a league play style thing while this match loads up, if you think of it like a league play where you can have 2 teams that maybe do well against each other, but because of other bots or people in the league, they don't necessarily qualify. It's a very similar thing here, where just because a bot can beat another bot doesn't mean that it could be good enough to reach the top and qualify. So it usually works pretty well for sorting the bots out.
Yeah, it's a good rough format that gets the jobs done. But yeah, we are now seeing JBot versus NoobBot. And JBot is currently in possession, trying to get the ball out of his field. There comes a good strong shot. NoobBot with a goalkeeper able to save the first one of those attempts, but not the second one.
And it looks like that was exactly what you were describing to me, where one person on the Noobbot half seems to be chilling in the defense. It works if you can recover in time. In this case, they couldn't, but either way, I don't think, maybe it's just me, but I don't think Noobbot's going to stand that much of a chance against JBot in its new and improved form, as it's already figured out how to defeat the defense, and if it's done that by pure accident, it is entirely possible for it to happen again, although almost
wow, that is a good attack by NoobBot. First shot on the post, but yeah, JBot is basically helping that one in. He tries his best.
It wasn't in the first place. I know obviously it would have been dangerous for JBot, but it wasn't in, and he flicked it perfectly into his own net, but also a perfect pass for Noob Blue and a kickoff. I mean, the kickoffs are consistent at least, because that's the second time that has happened on kickoff, but it's whether what happens after the kickoff being consistent.
Oh, what a good challenge. I'm a NoobBot just being a bit lucky here on what's happening. I feel like all of the challenges goes just the right way for NoobBot. And if that's the case, then it's just fine to have a goalkeeper, because one bot is able to defeat both of the J-bots.
I think it's just the case of a bot itself doesn't necessarily have to be the first one to the ball, because we've seen most of the time when there's been a goal from Noob, it's because Noob was the second bot to the ball, and instead of getting a beautiful touch similar to what JBot keeps getting with shots like that, they instead just get the dunk on JBot, and because of that it catches them off guard. But what's happening right now is a rolling ball to be the final goal scored with no one in defense. So Noob Blue taking the position. I mean, that's another lock. We're at least seeing a few more locks appear here, East, so it might not be as long of a night as it could have been.
Color me surprised. Yeah, I did not see this outcome happening.
I didn't either, to be fair.
With JBot looking that strong against Cheese in the first match, or the previous match, I was convinced that this new JBot was going to go far. But defeated by NoobBot already. What's happening?
I mean, technically, if I've got this correct, they have tonight, because we're going up and down and up and down, they have basically 4 chances to move themselves up the ladder, assuming they aren't completely surrounded by locks. And so there's still the opportunity, if Noob Blue can manage to beat Buddy here, that JBot can at least move somewhere up on the rankings.
Yeah, he can take one spot more, but he will never get past NoobBot now, which means that match was actually super crucial. It means tonight won't be too long. But yeah, we are in the next match now, and it's Buddy versus NoobBot, and Buddy has already taken the first goal straight off of kickoff. 1 second in, and he's in the lead.
And I mean, looking at the locks here, does that also mean that in the current position it is not impossible, but very unlikely that Cheese makes it to the top 8 here?
Very unlikely. All of the 5 bots do not have locks right now basically have to lose and go all the way below Cheese.
But a good shot either way. While we were talking about that from Noob Blue, it seemed like Buddy forgot how to defend, and I was going to say Buddy started out this game looking incredibly strong, but it's whether they can keep up the offense, and I think it's all relying on how good that Noob Blue defender is, because it worked against JBot. It seemed to at least partially worked, I should say, because they did score a goal, but it's whether it can keep working as Buddy whiffs a shot on the line that was open net. It could have been that 2-1 lead, but I think depending on what kickoffs pop up here, this could still go either way with another shot from... Don't want to say it's over, but I do think Buddy will take this depending on this kickoff here.
Buddy is doing a great job keeping the ball out of his half, and that means we have a lot of pressure on NoobBot's goalkeeper this time, which we didn't have in the last match. Maybe just by pure luck, but it's definitely a different field. Ooh, and that's the power shot by Buddy's kickoff. We did see that before, and it's just so fast. 110 kilometers per hour here.
I mean, it's the age-old psionic spot, going together, pinching it kind of shot. but it's done with such speed and precision that NoobBot wasn't ready anywhere near in time to be able to defend that. And I mean, I don't want to keep celebrating all these locks that keep appearing, but right now it is looking like even with the changes, a lot of them seem to be cancelling each other out this week.
Oh. CodeRed is mentioning that I might have forgotten to... Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot to press enter. I have written the announcement. There you go. Sorry about
Good
that.
news, everyone.
I hope people will find the stream now. That's my bad.
Good news for everyone watching right now. The RLBot Championship 2023 hard-coded bubble sort number 3 has at least begun. We can say that for sure. Sadly, we are halfway through the first part or the first direction of the bubble sort or cocktail sort, whatever you want to call it. But Buddy versus Stardust. Am I right in saying both of these bots were updated this week?
That's correct. Both of them were updated. I don't expect to see major changes, but it's always good with some updates. It allows them to move around and they get a second chance to beat Bribble here, for instance. Bribble is known as a bit of a gatekeeper in previous tournaments because it has a very unique playstyle. You have to be able to deal with dribbles and demos. So let's see if these bots have made some changes that may be better to deal with that. But first we have to figure out who of these is going to be the one to face Bribble.
And I mean, it is, I think, entirely dependent on those Buddy kickoffs, as a slow rolling ball there is easy to save, but if Buddy can get more of those pinch kickoffs, I don't know how well they work against all the other bots, but I think Buddy could take it. But right now it seems like the longer the game goes on, the more Stardust can pile on the attack, because Buddy seemed to be struggling very hard there. And if that is the case, if Stardust can beat Buddy on kickoff, I think this could be quite an easy match here for Stardust.
That's again a very strong kickoff from Buddy going directly towards the goal, but Stardust with a nice aerial able to save it. Now Buddy moving upfield into the orange corner. Bit of an awkward movement there. Okay, I think Buddy number 1 was going for a demo.
It's definitely not the strategy you want when you have an open net sat in front of you. And
yeah, I think it would have been better for a pass here, but Buddy is going to find a goal here instead.
Are these bots just deciding on coin flips or something? Because I feel like it went from Stardust having an incredible just amount of pressure on Buddy to now Buddy managing to quite easily hold off everything Stardust is doing. And I mean, if that keeps up, maybe my not easy Stardust win, but solid Stardust win may not be true as another miss. It might just be who goes on attack first, really.
Yeah, I think it's once we get to this level where the bots are sort of even, then it becomes closer and closer to the 50-50, and then in this short match format, it's definitely affected more by that randomness than usual.
So I'd love to see more goals, but just given how much time it would take to do that, it's not really feasible. But a miss there. It allows Buddy onto the attack, but the shot itself was wide. Oh, Buddy celebrated too early, and it's going to maybe cost them on the defense if Stardust can manage to get an attack going here. But there's just nothing coming out from either side when it actually gets into their opponent's half, it feels like.
He managed to get a breather there in the corner, and now they are putting on the offense again. The bodies are a bit overcommitted here, but maybe they can find a way to teamwork their way through that wall of Stardust. Not this time.
And I mean, it's whether the double commits that we see coming out from both bots here. I think that might be what cost one of the two bots this game here. I think this is the longest running match we've had all night so far. Granted, we've only had 5 or 6, no, maybe more matches. I don't know, I kind of lost track. But what I will say...
I think they're reaching 10, but yeah.
It's almost 5 or 6. What I will say is it's incredibly close. A take like that from Buddy is probably going to result in a goal.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate touch by Buddy here. Mid-dodge hitting the ball in a way that is very unreadable. It goes straight up into the air, and Stardust is able to make a small aerial to claim that goal.
And what I will say is the thing I like about Stardust here it seems like not necessarily to counter Buddy, but to counter just bots that do well in kickoff in general. It seems like Stardust has the strategy down of leave someone sat in the net ready to save it.
Yeah.
And so long as they know how to aerial, they can basically stop any shot that comes towards them off kickoff.
Yeah, and it makes it very good and very versatile in handling kickoffs. Like if it does happen to meet a bot that has very strong kickoffs, for instance Bribblebot, then they aren't completely lost. Like they still have a chance to play even though they lose the kickoff. And Stardust is gonna take this game with a third goal here, 3 minutes in. Stardust is going to be the one to face Bribblebot.
It's going to be a good match. I will say it was exactly what I expected it to be. That being the double commits from the bots being what decided the actual end of the game. I think 2 buddies went for the same ball, both of them missed. But what that also means is another lock. And at this point, I don't want to say it's impossible for the bots towards the bottom to make it up, except for the ones that haven't obviously faced all of the ones above. But for bots like Cheese and Phoenix here, it is basically impossible for them to make it to the top 8 now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much correct, given the amount of locks. Jayland did ask in chat at some point here whether it was possible for JBot to play against Noobbot again, and unfortunately it is not. Even though I do believe that was a match that could have went the other way on another day, but that's just unfortunate. It's the way of the format, and all submitters knew this when they signed up. The earlier they submitted, the better their chances were.
And I mean, that is one thing to note of all of these bots that appear at the bottom. While you may feel bad in chat for all the bots like Cheese who are locked out of the top 8 because of all of the locks above them and the fact that they may not have had a great game against one of the people, but that is entirely like he said. If they'd have submitted it sooner, they would have had more opportunities to make it up. But what I will say is 2 Stardust going for that ball is going to leave an open net if Bribble can manage to capitalize, but it's going to the corner instead, which, I mean, it's a strategy, but it's whether it's the right one, which I guess it is.
Yeah, Bribble being almost out of boost here still manages to get the ball downfield and then just catching it here on the front wheel, putting it in. Almost a butt dish, but a bit more confident. And it's gonna be a very neutral kickoff. Bribble first to the ball due to a cheese, and Stardust is able to save it.
And I think, if I'm correct, so far from what I've seen, Bribble is probably the first bot out of the lot that utilizes demos. As I say, that actually get one. That uses demos to clear out opposition, like you said earlier, and just works its way through the offense that way. But also, as you can probably tell by the name, is a very heavy dribble bot.
Yeah, I fear today I'm going to cast a match where it's both Bribblebot and Ribble in the same match. Because I'll just be saying Ribble, dribble, Ribble, dribbles all over the place. It's gonna be a nightmare. But
it's a great match when Ribble dribbles Bribble.
Yes. Luckily Ribble is a machine learning bot, so today they are in different brackets. Bribble with another dribble. And this time it does not get all the way. Stardust able to save that one.
It was those opportunities like that where Bribble maybe, if it wasn't completely a dribble bot, could have just scored because it was an open net. The team bump, I mean, one of the Bribbles just wasn't happy with how slow that game actually was going there. They took the demo. Oh, a different way. What?
Wait, what happened?
Bribble didn't get the demo there. Is that just a bot trying to commit and just going too fast or something there?
Yeah, out of the smoke, a different Bribblebot appears with the dribbling. Stardust also going for the demos here and there, making this a very violent game.
I mean, this is Stardust we haven't seen. Maybe Stardust just has code of, if I get demoed, you're screwed, I'm gonna demo you now, good luck.
Demo back.
Yeah.
I mean, I know players who will play exactly like that. Once they get demoed, they get so mad and then just start focusing on demoing. Maybe that's what we're seeing with Stardust here.
I mean, it's working. That's all I can say. Although,
Ooh.
sadly, not working enough, as that is an open net.
No!
Bribble slams it into the crossbar. What are you doing, Bribble? You had it. You had the win, and now it looks like you've conceded a goal. What is happening here?
Oh my god, the total throw here by Bribblebot. Even though his teammate perfectly demoed the first one, bumped the second one, he then goes around to make an Athena flick, yes, into the bar, making it all a waste.
If Stardust manages to win this game now, I think this will be the worst throw we've probably seen, as Bribble, realistically, should be already facing off against Filament here. Or not Filament, sorry, because that's already a lock, so it wouldn't be Bribble facing off against Filament, but Bribble should have just solidified its spot, but instead Stardust is going to get a second, and the mistake is coming back to haunt Bribble massively right now.
Bribble suddenly finds himself in a very dangerous position. We are now at a match point. It could be anyone's game. Oh man. And really, every time I see Bribble play, I always think maybe I should make a PR for that bot, just to make it flick in some different situations. Because it always only flicks when it's right close to the goal. It never flicks above opponents, and sometimes it flicks into the bar. So there's definitely some room for improvement.
Hallelujah! At least, as Bribble does manage to not completely throw the 2-goal lead. But I will say, as much as we were talking about Bribble throwing by flicking it into the post, Stardust seemed to have a similar issue off kickoffs, where the ball was bouncing quite easily towards the opponent's net, and they went for the aerial, but instead of hitting it in, they hit it up into the post or higher. And I mean, if Stardust had have managed to hit those, I think it could have gone in Stardust's favour. If Bribble hadn't have flicked that ball onto the crossbar, it would have been a 3-0 victory for Bribble. So it's a lot of ifs in this situation, and a lot of changes that could have been made.
Definitely one of the matches ever.
That is for sure.
Now, next up we have FillamentBot versus King. We're going to skip the Bribble versus Filament because we've already seen it. But King was updated, so there's a chance that we need to change the order or the position of where King is placed on the ladder.
Now, according to the notes that I have on these bots, there is supposedly a skill gap that, at least before King has had any of these changes this week, that was pretty apparent between King and FillamentBot, or at least all of the bots in the top 4 and all of the bots below the top 4. I don't know how apparent it actually is, but at least from what I was told, it sounds like there is one, so maybe this change will weaken it?
I think it's correct, though I do think randomness could still be a deciding factor here. But yeah, King is definitely known as being one of the strongest bots in the bot packs. And he takes the first goal against Filament 45 seconds in.
And I mean, you can already see the change in skill, as a lot of the earlier bots on that shot may have shot it wide, may have not even gone for the ball, but King had the position, had the boost, took the shot, and it's exactly what King needed to do. But I think this is I think King may be showing one of the risks of updating your bot. For King, as you said, had a pretty solid lead as that just hits the crossbar, but changing your bot not only gives you an opportunity against the bots above you, but it also gives the bots below you an opportunity to come back, as a beautiful save on that from
what
Filament.
A roof hit, yeah. Amazing.
It's whether Filament can keep it up, though, or whether King can keep hitting that bar, because that shot, a similar shot that could have been in had it have been on target. But what I will say is right now King is all over the defense of Filament, and there is just nothing Filament seems to be able to do that can clear this ball away, as King has possession of the boost,
I think
has most
finally
of
see
the
a breakaway
possession.
here. We're finally seeing a breakaway from Filament. Not long though. King is already preventing that from happening, taking a shot at the blue goal again. This is just shot after shot after shot from King. Most of them wide though, so it's not like Filament has to stop all of them. But he definitely isn't getting any chances himself.
And can I ask, does Filament have the ability to aerial?
I think he has some good double jumps, but I'm
Okay.
not sure it can be an aerial.
I was going to say, because it seems like King has been dominating very hard, both in terms of goals scored, but also in terms of aerial hits so far. And I mean, if the aerial hits keep up like this, I think there's not much that Filament can do because King has speed, has just the better touches and the better shots. I mean, I don't know if you can bring up the scoreboard right now, but has Filament actually had a shot this game?
Let's have a look. It does not seem to be the case.
And that is exactly the problem that I think is being apparent with how much pressure King has just on this blue half. It's impossible, it seems like, for them to break out and get that first shot. And they
Yeah.
need to take at least 3 and get the goals from it.
The ball is finally in the orange half now, in the orange corner specifically. Filament able to take a shot here. It goes wide, puts it into the corner as he gets around one of the kings. Now King mid possession, FillamentBot is back. That does not turn into a shot, weirdly enough, but a sure thing. Now in the other blue corner, King is up with an aerial.
Oh,
He's doing a bit of an air dribble, and there you go. He does manage to finish that one.
I think that may have been the least or the most low effort air dribble I've ever seen. Took this slight air dribble, didn't want to go all the way to the goal for it, so just let it. Instead, took the nice jump shot, just to sneak it into the bottom corner and win.
I mean, once the two FillamentBots both had committed on the early part of the air dribble, then he didn't really have to go all in.
That is very true. Yeah. I don't know. I doubt that was how King saw it, but if it was,
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart thinking from King, but would have been more impressive if it's a full RL. I'm just saying that, whoever codes King.
King was made by CodeRed, and CodeRed also made RedBot.
Ooh, I'm assuming then this will be one of the bots that King was likely tested against.
Yeah. One fun fact about the previous match, I noticed that one of the bots was continuously printing W's in console. So I don't know what that means, if he's that confident that he's both winning the console and the match. That's what's happening.
It could be that he's saying just ball chase and just hold W, always go forward, which in that case I would hope it was King and not Filament.
Or maybe he's just celebrating every good shot that he made, like that was a W shot.
True. I mean, to be fair, all of the King's shots so far have been very good, but right now, a solid matchup here of RedBot and King. Like we said, it's made by the same people, and probably if you were the person who coded them being CodeRed, you'd probably test your own bots against each other to see how they perform. But what we're seeing right now is almost a reversal of last game, but a breakaway is just going to give King the first goal, which, I mean, I didn't expect it with an attack as aggressive as that from RedBot.
That was, yeah, a very scary situation for King. He just barely manages to get the ball away here, and it turns into a breakaway because the RedBots are both so overcommitted. Which is probably something we're going to see a lot from RedBot. They have barely any strategy code, it's just ball chase, ball chase, ball chase.
And I mean, what I will say is that passes like that coming out from one RedBot to the other, I think this is what sets these top bots maybe apart from all of the ones beneath them, is that they seem to not necessarily have a concept of passing to each other, but they have the concept of, I've hit this ball too far away from me to get it, but my teammate can get it, so I don't need to go for it kind of strategy.
King with another shot that goes just wide. It ends up in a pinch that flies all the way to the blue half here. Help with RedBot's assistance. This is a very dangerous situation. Ooh. This reminds me of not that long ago.
And I mean, it was an incredible save there from King in that second. Slammed it onto the crossbar and post. It's an unorthodox way to save it, but so long as the ball doesn't end up in your net, you can't really complain how you saved it. But RedBot still maintaining incredible pressure on this blue half, but it's whether that breakaway attack that we saw from that first goal for King happens as another ball just free in that blue net, but no one there to fully capitalize on it. And I think that is just RedBot's only issue in this match so far, is not capitalizing on the opportunities well enough.
Yeah, RedBot here. Both of them chasing the ball back and forth in front of the blue goal.
Oh no.
King 2 decides that he rather wants another kickoff, get out of this situation. Interesting choice. CodeRed is in chat, by the way, and saying that it would be luck if King loses this one.
Well, this is going to be very sad for you at this rate then, CodeRed.
Yeah, it's not looking too good though. So
oh, it really isn't looking good.
Ooh,
oh no, it's
no.
really not looking. No, that's 2 own goals from King. Oh, poor King.
It looks like this is not going to to come in CodeRed's favor. I know his King is the more loved child in this case. But it is still RedBot that takes the victory.
And now I will ask you a simple question. I was going to ask you in caster chat, but I might as well ask you it here. And that is, given at this point we have locked basically all of the top things. I know bots coming up from the bottom can do it and make it all the way back up to towards the top. But are we going to do maybe more than 2 go through this rate?
We are probably going to do more than 2 rounds in this case, because we also know, for instance, that cheesing will never be able to pass cheese because it lost to cheese.
And we know that cheesing is better than RLBot and Sapphire. Kind of thing.
So cheese at...
Oh wait, no, maybe not better than RLBot actually.
Yeah, but there will be a limit here because cheese started second lowest and did win against Sapphire. So we have compared cheese to everything below this, which means none of them can move past cheese now.
And I think that will basically all come down to this back pass through, because I feel like, for example, Neon will probably beat BitBot here because Neon did pretty good. But I don't think RLBot will be able to beat cheesing, and if that lock appears, that is quite a few matches that will be avoided there.
Yep, exactly. That loss in the middle with the cheese and JBot and Noob Blue, that was the result that was going to cut today short in the, or not cut them short, but make them shorter. So, and now, as I said, I was a bit surprised by that JBot and Noob bot result. In any case, let's see how the bottom of the ladder here is going to turn out. It doesn't technically matter for a top 8, if our theories are correct, but let's still figure it out. Who of these bots are the best?
And I mean, looking at BitBot versus Phoenix, I believe this is a matchup that we have already. I'm not sure where's the other Phoenix. I just saw him zoom along the field there, but
he's having the time of his life.
Well, the time of his life's good and all, but what isn't good for Phoenix here is letting in a goal like that from BitBot, especially when I believe Phoenix has already beaten BitBot in the past.
Yeah, I think they have faced off against each other twice now, and I believe Phoenix won both of them, but it has always been a close match. So it's a bit scary here seeing Phoenix again versus BitBot when I know that it might actually have been made worse by the changes I made.
That is just the risk of making changes to your bot, but no matter the result of this match, there is no way that BitBot can get any higher than 12th, as we've already said, because of cheese. I mean, it's 2-0 to BitBot, so it's looking more and more likely for BitBot to win here. But yeah, if this happens, then they swap. BitBot still can't move up anymore because they have already lost to cheese, like we've already said before this match even started.
Yeah, and in any case, the bubble is currently going downwards, so it's the loser that we're going to see in the next match trying to defend against what's coming from below.
So we get to see about 6 more matches of Phoenix, is that what you're telling me right now?
Haha. No. BitBot finally managing to get that ball a bit away from his goal with a really good clear here. Phoenix decides to go for an aerial here, misses. Oh, that's a dangerous move by Phoenix.
And I mean, Phoenix has a hell of a comeback to make here. They have to score 3 goals against BitBot when BitBot has already scored 2, although one of the BitBots being completely stationary in the blue net.
I think it might have crashed. It's also
Oh, it's
throwing
back.
errors in the console. Okay, he's back.
Yeah.
But there is an unbound local variable error. Interesting.
I mean, all I'm going to say is I think personally it's just a BM strategy, and BitBot just wants to say, I mean, look at this. Surely this is just saying I can easily stops moving.
BitBot is just BMing right now. Totally.
One of them stops moving, the other one own goals. So like, what is even like? What is BitBot doing? To the person saying that the system that we currently have feels punishing to new entries, that is, I'm not going to say the point of it, but that is one thing in it that everyone knew the format, and everyone could have just submitted a base version of their bot in the first couple weeks and allowed to go from there. But Phoenix getting it 2-2 at least while I was saying that seems like BitBot's forgotten how to play the game.
Or maybe it's just a part of the BM strategy, who knows?
Maybe.
But it does mean that this is now anyone's game. The next goal is going to decide our winner.
And I mean, as this is the third week of it, quite a few of these bots we are pretty sure not necessarily are exactly where they should be, but they are close enough to it that it doesn't make a major difference for the overall results. But with half of the match off finally gone, I mean, it's more than we usually see, which, like you said, it was a close matchup all the time. But BitBot going AFK again there because I'm assuming an error isn't a good sign for them.
Yeah, it does seem that there's something wrong here. BitBot's goalkeeping strategy is working out so far. Unless, of course, the goalkeeper decides to own goal, but it hasn't happened for this goal yet. BitBot now on the wall, not able to really make the jump that he wants. Walls are hard.
Ooh.
He makes it to the ground though, where he is able to take a shot. And he is going to take the win in this match.
And I mean, Zing wasn't too sure of Neon against BitBot. What I want to ask Zing, what is your opinion of Neon versus Phoenix here? Do you think Phoenix takes it? Do you think Neon takes it? What are we thinking?
I think the chance of Phoenix winning is higher, but we are still talking in probabilities here. There is definitely a chance that Phoenix is going to lose another one, which I hope is not the case.
I was about to say, you saying you think Phoenix is going to do higher, you're always going to say Phoenix is going to do higher, because if you don't, then it means that you're saying your bot's going to lose, and that's never a great feeling.
I am the type of person who at least hopes for success. There are people who will just not root for their bot at all, but I at least try to root for my guy. Like, even when it's looking grim, even when Neon is going on him right here, I still believe in you, Phoenix. You can do this. Just score one more goal, please.
Unlike you, I am completely in favor. I want to see Neon absolutely game this. He doesn't think Neon's going to beat Phoenix, doesn't think Neon's going to beat BitBot. Neon has already lost to Cheese, like we've said, so I can't make it any higher, but a kickoff from Phoenix, and it shows that I feel like it's just whoever attacks first wins here.
Maybe. We'll see. There's definitely I don't think these bots may have the strongest aiming skills. Well, maybe Phoenix does, but he's not able to commit to shots. That's my experience. He cannot make decisions basically, and
he has commitment issues on the ball plays,
and questionable aerials, as you can see as well. But sometimes he will make a good shot, and sometimes it will be towards the enemy goal and not his own.
I mean, that's all anyone can really ask for. Occasionally he knows what he's doing, occasionally he shoots for the right net. It seems like that might be the strategy employed by both of the bots on the field right
Yeah, they do
Neon
seem to
almost
be
hits him.
clumping up a lot here, just just stacking up in a pile. As both of them are trying to make it slightly more in their favor.
I mean, it's the conga strategy, it looks like. We got Neon just vibing along both of them together, but neither can really break the defense of the other one, as Phoenix doing a great job of stopping it passing midfield, and Neon just doing a great job of stopping Phoenix from getting any major attacks. And I think that stalemate is what's making this game so close, although it does feel like it's slowly edging in favor of Neon here as just time slowly passes on. They're breaking away more and more, but all it takes is one good clear from Phoenix or an own goal from Phoenix, and that balance is completely upset.
Yeah, one goal would be huge in this case. Now we're going towards the orange half. Phoenix maybe with a shot. No, Neon gets in the way. The ball is jumping high. No one is going for it. A little team bump on the orange part, but now with an attack. Where's the blue goalkeeper? Phoenix.
I don't think shouting at your bot is going to make it work faster. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just maybe I've just been doing bot making wrong the entire time. But I will say, whatever is happening, it is another long match, as we are 10 seconds or about 5 seconds away now from halfway, and up until that own goal from Neon, I was about to say it's so close between them, but that mistake from the bump and then the own goal, that could be the decider here.
I feel like most of Phoenix's goals today has been the opponent scoring own goals, which is not great, but hey, it's a way to win. Except he's not winning.
But he's also not losing at the moment, so he's got that going for him. But yeah, I feel like you don't want to question where a goal comes from if you get a goal, but you'd prefer your goals to not come from other people own goaling.
Yeah.
As I say that,
speaking
Phoenix...
of own goals.
Oh no.
Yeah,
What's
these bots
here?
seems to be having a very similar playstyle in some cases. Like they are definitely different, but they struggle with the same things, and end up in these piles, as we've seen now quite a few times in this match.
I do want to ask the person who coded Neon, what does your fun fact mean? Because I just saw the fun fact pop up and it just said bug.
I believe that's the description as well.
Oh, well, whatever it is. What
Yeah.
Can you explain what it means, please? Because I am so confused by reading.
Neon is just one bug.
Sounds like any bot I've ever coded, to be fair.
That's true.
That's so toxic. Wow, I can't believe you'd say that. That's so mean.
Both Neon and... Oh, what is his answer?
His answer is, it used to be called Isopod, which would have been bug, but the description hasn't changed. Yeah, it is a one situation right there, but what I will say is one of these bots really needs to get an attack going if they want to win this game.
Yeah, this is the first match that's been this long, I believe. 4 minutes now, and we are at the final goal, just waiting for one of these bots to make a good shot or a good breakaway. Here we have one that could be, but it's just wide.
Ooh.
Phoenix tries to follow it up with a pinch, but that won't help.
Joshy asking where my bots are. You know how people like, oh, a good shot from Neon, say like they've thrown it away. Well, I've thrown my bots away, and then where I've thrown them away has then been thrown away. The place that went to got thrown away as well, and that's about where my bots are at this point.
I mean, I believe I have a copy if you want me to find it.
Damn, can we get a late entry into this tournament for my bot to come last?
No, I think we are past the deadline.
It's fine.
Adding
anyway,
another bot at this moment is I don't know, it seems a bit unfair towards everyone else.
I don't think they'd mind when it comes last place. It would stop whichever bot is going to end last place from ending last place at the very least.
We are quickly moving on to the next match. Again, Phoenix, this time versus Cheesing. Both of them using red utils, but I believe Cheesing does it a bit better. That's
I'm going to
definitely
say
not.
Cheesing does it a bit faster.
Oh, a bit faster. I don't think that was a red utils kickoff.
Oh, there you go. Then it's just the power of the Joshi kickoff as Cheesing. I mean, Cheese did incredible on his kickoffs. Cheesing, not as much, but I mean, it's a kickoff that seems to work against Phoenix at the very least, which when you can only go up a few places, one of them being up into the place where Phoenix currently is, that is exactly what you want to see. But I mean, I think Phoenix just broke a rule 1 there, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, my bots do not care about rule 1. They care about winning. I mean, it's hard
Well,
to
they're
tell.
not doing
but
either at the moment.
Yeah, I know it can be hard to tell. But yeah, Cheesing is definitely doing better on that front. Scoring here an easy own goal after a good challenge. Well, not an own goal, an open net.
I mean, Cheesing, I mean, you said doesn't want to do a rule 1, but it wants to win. It seems like Cheesing wants to do rule 1 and Cheesing wants to win. So in my eyes, I mean, Cheesing was already my favorite as Phoenix almost not managing to block that ball there. But yeah, Cheesing was my favorite heading into this out of the two of them. And I think with that ball there, it could be the decider if it drops enough.
It could be a butt dish, but Phoenix comes in with an aerial, slams it into the backboard to get it away. Now Phoenix with a dribble, but Cheesing easily takes that away from him.
I was scared for a moment that Phoenix was going to own goal that. No own goal comes out. Unluckily for Cheesing, a mistake on the attack sending it high, but as it's now in their half, they have to work on getting it out. They're kind of running into each other a bit. Whatever they are doing, it's worked. It's in the blue half now. Phoenix has made a mistake. The net's open, and I thought that was wide for a second, but it's a 3-0 win for Cheesing.
Yeah, the Cheesing bots were basically on top of each other there for a moment, and that's one of the things I've been working on in Phoenix in an attempt to make sure that happens less, but unfortunately that has also made the bot worse. So again, back to my point earlier, strategy and rotations, it's hard.
I mean, I don't know how to do either of those, both in bots and in Rocket League. So it's something. I mean, like we keep saying, it's something that people struggle to code, but also for I would say probably about half of the RLBot or not RLBot Rocket League community as a whole, it is something that even they can struggle with at times, and it just shows that as much as like we see these machine learning bots doing incredible things as RedBot getting an early goal, Phoenix really doesn't like these first kickoffs, does it?
For some reason not, no. But yeah, strategy, it's really hard to say that this is the right way to do it. Like, if this is the case, then do that. It's never like that, because there's always exceptions, like, yeah, but what if you don't have boost, or what if your teammate is upside down or far away? Like, it becomes... You can't define it with a lot of if statements, basically.
I was about to say, it becomes much more of an implicit kind of thing than something you can just stick a couple of if statements and go, boom, my bot can now strategize.
It's a bit of an intuition thing, which also means the machine learning bots are way better at it.
Oh, what I will say is a good, I don't know how purposeful it was, but RedBot with a nice touch, then followed by a strong just slice into the middle there, and it's the infield passes. I mean, RedBot struggled against the bots it played against, but what it isn't struggling against right now is the defense of Phoenix, as, I mean, it's 2-0, 30 seconds in, it's not as close as Phoenix versus BitBot, it's not as clear cut as maybe Phoenix versus Cheesing was, but right now RedBot, they've got the advantage. All they need to do is solidify that third goal, and it'll be a nice single position higher for them.
Yeah, RedBot definitely with the best first minute here, looking a lot more strong than Phoenix. And again, it seems like it's the commitment from Phoenix that is lacking. He doesn't want to go for strong shots, but he will touch the ball here and there, but not much more than that.
And I mean, I think that is what sets bots like King or RedBot. I haven't seen Duck or Bumblebee play tonight, but King and RedBot, you see, they not necessarily go for every, but for example, Phoenix taking a shot there. It's the kind of shots that need to be taken from Phoenix commonly, not just, oh, we're both near the ball, we might as well take a shot. It's the kind of King method of one of them hits it a bit, the other one's there to follow up. It's just that follow through from Phoenix that isn't currently there.
Yeah, actually taking a shot instead of just standing around. And RedBot with another good kickoff, resulting in a goal, and that makes RedBot the winner of this match. And Phoenix's lose streak is going to continue.
Now, I don't want to say I said we would get a lot of Phoenix matches following on here, but I will say we have had a good few.
True. I mean, the one good thing about it for me is that we get to see more of my bot. It would just have been nice if it was we're winning in all of those cases. I think it might actually also lose to Sapphire here.
To be honest, Joshy's rooting for Sapphire. I'm rooting for Sapphire. If Phoenix loses this, no matter what, Phoenix will have been last place. There is no way for it to be anything but last place if it loses against Sapphire here. Similarly, I believe it is basically impossible for Sapphire to not be last place if Phoenix wins here.
So we basically have a fight about who is going to be the bottom.
Yes, and as it stands right now, from what I saw in Sapphire versus Cheesing, I think Sapphire is going to be the one to take this.
Phoenix already with a lot of good shots this match compared to what we've seen earlier. The Sapphires are clunking up a bit against each other here. Turning it into an attack in the corner. One of them leaves the attack. Phoenix now with possession.
Seems like they're both working off the exact same logic of, oh, my other teammate can get it, and then they both retreat back because of the ball's just free, which might allow Phoenix to get some attacks, but a pinch to clear it and save it there puts Sapphire on the attack with Phoenix in an awkward position, but it feels like Sapphire might have the same commitment issues Phoenix have right now, where one of them doesn't want to go for the ball when there's both back.
Yeah, I mean, that maybe give Phoenix a chance. Here we do see a shot. It's not super strong, but it works due to the circumstances. And Phoenix is going to take the lead.
And that is a good start here for Phoenix. Could potentially have been a fluke. We won't be able to see until more of the match heads out. Given a minute's already passed, we can say for sure that it's close as Sapphire pops it up, but that is more a ball that Phoenix likes, although both of them pushing in there, not what you want to see on any kind of major build-up. They still have possession, but they need to beat out the two Sapphire bots before they can get a goal here.
Both Sapphire bots here also leaving the ball, and the ball just rolls in the midline. Nobody wants to go for it. Sapphire finally comes. Now Phoenix with possession. Sapphire easily takes it away from them. Yeah, it's a bit of back and forth so far.
And I mean, not to put pressure on the bot makers of both bots, but what I will say as an own goal goes in, it is almost a battle for languages right now. Which language is the worst out of the two? Is it Python or is it C#? And I think currently it seems pretty balanced between the two.
Yeah, that is one thing I wanted to mention as well. For a very long time, Python has been the main language of RLBot. It has the best tutorials and the most documentation and so on and so forth. most bot has been in Python. But if we look at what the bots are made of in this tournament, it looks like it's turning into about 50-50 C#, which is a new age for RLBot. People are now using C# instead of Python.
I mean, I'm not complaining. C#'s a lovely language, but yeah, just looking at the list I have here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Python bots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C# bots, but that is including Jland as a C#, also JBot as a C# bot after it got switched from Python. So
yeah, that one's
JBot's
a
kind
bit
of 50-50. Yeah.
And
but
then
Sapphire wins.
We also have one Java bot in there. Just one.
I mean, it's the Robbie effect, really. He appears every now and again, just somewhere in a tournament. You go into any RLBot tournament, there'll just be a random Java Robbie bot just sat there, whether it's Buddy or Wildfire are usually the two that show up most often. Who knows?
Or iBot. Oh, that was also a
Oh,
rare
iBot.
iBot, yeah.
Was DeweyBot written in Java? Or was that one in Python?
DeweyBot was also in Java because it uses static in a lot of places, meaning there can only be one.
Well, it's because he's God, so there can only be one God.
Of course, there can only be one DeweyBot. So we made it up and down, and it looks like most of the logs has been set in place, which means I don't think we need a break necessarily. There isn't that many matches left.
I think we keep going, yeah.
Yeah, let's power through and see how this remaining matches are going to turn out.
Yeah, it is
Was that you?
get slightly warm. Yeah, sorry, that was my turning on my fan in the background. Sorry, I was starting to get quite warm in my room just because my computer's been running for a while now, and watching a Discord screen share seems to make it want to run really warm for. Who knows?
Oh man, you should feel my room. It's very hot right now.
So
I'm doing.
my
My computer's doing thrice the amount of things you are.
That is very true, and I do feel sorry for both your computer and your room. Right now, I mean, heading into this match, it is technically the match for basically second last place. But I was about to ask, who do you think is going to win it? But I think that goal then slightly bias you either way.
I think it will be, yeah. But I mean, RedBot has also turned out to make some good plays here and there. So if Sapphire is going to struggle with the commitment issues that we also saw last game, then RedBot could take this one. Though,
I think,
yeah, the early lead here for Sapphire is definitely going to put Sapphire in the favor in my book.
I will say that I feel personally, purely because RedBot stays completely grounded, and I'm pretty sure Sapphire, as we've seen there, the jump, I think that is going to be the deciding edge. And I think the 2-goal lead will also agree with me, as another goal sneaking by because of a mistake from RedBot. I still love how much RedBot just drifts around. Just loving life there.
Yeah, he's loving the handbrake. He's the kind of guy who will drift. Like, he'll go to drifting.
Is that an aerial? Yeah. It is an aerial.
It is an aerial. Does not really connect though.
I'd say the camera just stuck us on the lower car as Sapphire went up, but I feel like Sapphire's commitment issues, they make things bad for it, but at the same time, RedBot isn't posing much of a major threat. Like there's touches that it's getting that could be dangerous, but overall, a lot of the time it's clears like that. It's high balls. Sapphire performs way better than RedBot on, and 2-goal lead. I mean, we've seen bots throw it, but right now, especially after a double commit on attack like that. Oh, I was about to say that should have been Sapphire's goal if they could have got the touch that was required, but the ball still very slowly heading towards there. Yeah, Sapphire could have been the decider.
Sapphire is showing off a lot more speed in this match, coming in with some better shots like these ones here. Something we did not see in the last match. So I wonder if Sapphire also have some consideration about what the enemy is doing and the way that Phoenix played was able to mess this up. Who knows?
I mean, RedBot was just dancing on his goal line. I don't know if you caught that on the camera for a minute. It was quite fun to watch, but I think it is just the idea that Phoenix attacked so much faster, maybe, than RedBot did. Phoenix didn't like committing in, but when Phoenix did commit in, it was always fast and it was always powerful, whereas it feels RedBot tries to take time to control it and misses quite often, and mistakes like that allow Sapphire to do things, although it was almost dangerous on that line, as Sapphire having to get not a miracle save, but a pretty awkward save on the goal line. And as we're now past halfway, a mistake, 2-1, and Sapphire has the lead, but it doesn't feel as strong of a lead anymore.
Yeah, the ball just bounces past both Sapphires here, somehow going in. But I think you're right about what you're saying. Also by the fact that RedBot is this ground bot, as you pointed out. That means he plays a lot more into positioning and is trying to be on the right side of the ball, which means he wastes a bit of time on that. Where Sapphire will just jump into it, make the contact, and then make the situation good for them afterwards.
Yeah, kind of like that, where it just clears it into that far corner.
Oh, you're coming towards me? Okay, I'm just gonna commit for that one, clear it out. I'm not gonna give you any possession.
Yeah, it doesn't build any kind of attack, but it both relieves pressure and allows for the other Sapphire bot to come in and add some pressure, although that could have been another goal for Sapphire. RedBot hits it the wrong way into the corner, and if RedBot doesn't get it out right here, I mean, I was about to say Sapphire could get it, but Sapphire's just chilling over there. Doesn't want to go in. Doesn't feel like going in, so won't go in, and it just allows RedBot to suddenly turn it. But, I mean, guess Sapphire could run down time. They do have the time advantage and the goal advantage right now.
RedBot has a very distinct half flip, where he basically points his nose up or downwards for an entire second before he then lands. It looks very, very distinct.
I was about to say, I keep seeing it where it kind of like, I don't know whether it's trying to half flip, but it kind of like wants to half flip, but then decides against it and instead goes forward and then just slams its nose into the ground and just kind of sits there at an angle for a bit.
I think it's supposed to be a half flip. But yeah, Sapphire takes the third goal here, and that's gonna be match.
And I think that also adds in another for us on the, actually another 2 locks, because both RedBot and Sapphire have played against Phoenix before, so there is now technically 1, 2, 3 matches without a lock. Obviously, depending on who wins and loses coming out of these matches, the number of locks could quite easily change, and it could sit at 1 as a bot moves all the way down or all the way up. But right now,
but Sapphire, I think we are down to the last 3 matches at most.
Yeah, I don't think... I agree with what Josh has just said. There's probably about 5 or so matches, assuming some of the bots win, because I don't think Sapphire beats Cheesing here. So I think Sapphire is going to be locked in at the end of this match, and it's whether whether Cheesing beats Neon. Although, as I say that...
Oh, wow.
Was that a ground pick? No, it was just a well-timed volley hit there, as it just slams into the net. And I mean, I wasn't expecting that for Cheesing, but it's still a well-placed ball. Perfect read off the corner. The defense wasn't ready.
Yeah, Cheesing was looking quite strong the last time we saw him, or at least in the start of the tournament, where he was facing off against the other Cheese. So yeah, surprising good start from Sapphire here, taking a second goal already.
I mean, the other thing we should point out, if you look at the bot developers for both bots, you've got Sapphire developed by Sophie, you've got Cheesing developed by Joshi. Both of them developed Cheese. So it's basically a battle of the developers right now.
Who was able to make the most contributions to Cheese? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying who was able to make the best bot on their own.
Oh, the best bot on their own, yeah. I mean, what we can definitely see is that once they start collaborating, they end up with a better bot. Because Cheese was able to run away from both of these. Sapphire, though. Third goal.
I mean, yeah, there's not much more to be said about it. Joshi, you've been outdone by your co-developer. Your bot maybe hasn't reached the same level. It might just be because Cheesing doesn't like to go to defense from what I've seen. It might just be that Sapphire has practiced against Cheese, so knows how to defeat it. But what I will say is that is another bot that is slightly changed from where it was before and locked lower down than maybe it.
Yeah, so you heard it here first. Sophie is a better bot developer than Joshi.
I really hope that doesn't cause any kind of
that was a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
/J.
See, secretly, Joshi, East just hates you. He just doesn't want to tell you that, but he's just keeping it private at the moment.
Now Neon again playing on Neon Field. It feels like it's almost as if it's destiny. I do not control what field we're playing on. I just picked a handful of fields and it's a random between those. So let's see if Neon plays well here on his own field.
I mean, it's a great strategy from the developer to add in the ability to hack or map lists and force it to always be Neon Field whenever Neon plays. Right now, it's much closer than Sapphire versus Cheesing, but I still feel like right now I would put my money on Sapphire.
Oh, Neon with a small aerial here.
I don't even know if Neon could aerial, to be fair. I saw a couple jumps in the previous matches, but none of them to the aerial level of that one right there. But Neon, he's trying it. He's trying his hardest to get aerials going, but nothing on target and nothing major. Sapphire, we've seen pretty good on defense and very good at the long shots, as we see with a nice volley shot there. Rolls along the floor into that net.
I was looking briefly through Neon's code just to see if it was new bot or if it were using any utilities, and I did spot the aerial in there. And I could see it wasn't an aerial routine like it is in Gosling and so on. So I was thinking, that's a bit weird. Looks a bit simple, this kind of aerial. But it does seem to work out in practice sometimes. I can also see that other times it does not work. It just ends up jumping and then boosting for nothing.
I was about to say, having tried to code my own aerial code without any utils before, I can say with varying results you either get something that occasionally gets a beautiful aerial, kind of like what we saw Neon do earlier before Sapphire has taken this game with what seems to be an incredibly strong grip, or you just get something that sees a ball and just goes flying in some random direction.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the correct conditions to stop your aerial, you might also just go, I don't know, to the moon.
To be fair, the moon's a nice place to visit, so I don't see why that's such a bad thing for an aerial, but it might not be good for the attackers. I'm not even sure what power there, but whatever it is has put it into this orange half, allowing almost an opportunity for Sapphire to just take the game there and then. Luckily for Neon, it hasn't quite happened, but a shot like that sent just wide. It's close. I do more than code calendar.
Yeah, Robbie is calling you out in chat saying you don't program bots, only calendars. That was a shot right in the corner by Sapphire. She's putting in some good attempts. I'm assuming it's a she, I don't know why. But I guess the developer's name's Sophie, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, Joshi, do you... Joshi, I was about to say if Joshi knew, because Joshi was slightly... So. It is a she, as she almost gets it in there, but still not managing to do it. And I think, how many shots does it take before the ball finally goes in this orange net?
Yeah, it's not super convincing here by Neon. He does have some breathing room here. Sapphire just running around in circles in the goal. Now finally putting on another attack. Is this gonna be the last one? Now Neon deflects it, trying to make an attack on his own. This is a typical bot dish setup. Let's see what happens. Oh, Neon one almost aerialing in here and claiming that shot. Okay, misses just barely.
And I mean, Sapphire tried to redirect that ball on target. Only took one touch. It wasn't enough. That touch opposite side, same story, just slightly wide. And Josh is saying Sapphire seems to like to stall time. I will 100% agree. Sapphire just seems to be wasting so much time here when all it takes is one more goal. Maybe if it not first to 3 goals, it would work as a strategy, because if it's 5 minutes, you just want to hold a lead. You don't necessarily want to push it. But if you've got that first to 3 modifier, if you can risk that extra, maybe a goal being scored, and take that 3rd goal, it is exactly what will work. But I will say the attacks from Neon aren't really dangerous enough that I think Sapphire should be worried in these last 40 seconds.
Yeah, it is a very safe strategy to just drag out the time here now that it has leaked.
Hey.
And there we go, that's the kill shot. And Sapphire gets the 3rd goal with the 35 seconds left. Good long match. Maybe the longest we have today, actually.
I think it's definitely close. We had one that definitely hit a minute, but I can't remember how long after it got scored.
Yeah, it was one of the Phoenix matches that was also quite long.
What I will say is, no matter what, Sapphire can only move up 1 more position to 12th. As we've said, a lot of these bots have already played against Cheese, so no matter what, Sapphire cannot make it past Cheese. If Sapphire loses to BitBot here, it means there are a maximum on the way back down 2 matches left. If Sapphire wins, I believe put up to about 3 or 4.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So let's see if Sapphire can make that last win a reality and claim the highest bot possible now. BitBot does win the kickoff. Now Sapphire with possession, a double commit on the shot here, but it's a good shot and BitBot decides not to save it.
I'm going to say Sapphire takes it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page here.
I mean, it was a pull shot. That was beautiful.
Today BitBot has had a bit of a habit where he runs away from the ball, which is a huge weakness when you're also a goalkeeper.
But what we do want to see from BitBot is more of those jump plays that we keep seeing. A pass maybe for Sapphire? No, it was just a self-pass. It's a strategy we don't usually see from bots. A lot of pass
Sapphire.
to someone else. But Sapphire doing the same thing that BitBot did. Oh, what are you doing, Sapphire?
Yeah, BitBot's strength or strategy is definitely to be defensive and then take those long shots. Like we've seen multiple very precise long shots from BitBot. So Sapphire might also need a dedicated man back to avoid that. That's another good long shot from BitBot going in just past the far post. And both Sapphires are double committed here.
It's the same issue that I was mentioning about a lot. They both want that ball. They both go for that ball when you need to leave something back. Kind of like what BitBot does, to be fair, but BitBot does a bit of a dodgy thing on defense from what I've seen, so it's not as solid as maybe some of the other bots. But with a minute almost gone on the clock, this could be the end, and it is. BitBot 3-1, and that locks both of them into their positions as the final spot for them on the scoreboard.
BitBot might be scared of the ball, but his long shots are to be feared as well.
To be fair to Sapphire here, aside from Cheese, who I believe, maybe JBot is JBot a new bot, or was JBot? No, JBot was in it already. So aside from Cheese, I believe Sapphire is the new bot that's come in. At least this week, anyway. Not including any bots that got changes.
Yard French. Yard is not French. Whatever that means. I have a guess.
Nothing.
Now we're going to see French. Neon versus Cheesing, yeah.
And I believe at this point, give or take, it's basically only a maximum of 3 games that should be able to be played now. If I've counted it correctly, we've got Neon versus Cheesing, the winner of that versus RLBot, and then the final one versus that. But if Cheesing beats Neon here, it'll be a sad day for Neon, as it will get locked down below 14th where it is currently at, and there will be no way for it to make it out. And 1 second in, 1 goal. Let's hope it doesn't go to 2 seconds in and 2 goals.
That would be a super short match.
Oh no! It's
Now
3 seconds
we
into
did hit
2
3
goals.
seconds, but yeah, this is this match is going terribly fast. How did Neon not hit that one?
I don't know, but I think I might know who's going to score next. I'm going to take a risk here and say Cheesing might score this.
Wow.
Way!
What?
Fast.
How did Neon not hit any of those? Okay, that's the fastest match of today by far. 6 seconds. What more do you need?
I mean, Joshy, you might not have made it into the top 8, but at least you've had the fastest match there.
A different kind of win, yeah.
Yeah. And now, I believe, depending on the result of Neon versus RedBot, we either have 1 or 2 more games.
I think this is the last one, but yeah.
Oh, is it? Have Cheesing and RedBot played already?
I believe so.
In that case, it is either the last one, or if they haven't played, one more. I'm not 100% sure. Neither is East by the sound of it, so let's just hope Neon wins, and then we don't have to look wrong.
Oh.
You know what? RedBot's after the title as well. It looks.
Okay, let's see if the RedBot can beat 6 seconds. All Neon has to do is just stop one of these kickoffs.
I think if they're all diagonal kickoffs, Neon might not be in for a good time. And this being the second diagonal kickoff, it is a second one for RedBot. I almost saw that drop an extra second. And we're 2-0 up. It's 2 every 2 seconds. Oh, sorry, 1 goal every 2 seconds again. If this last one isn't a diagonal, it could be a faster kickoff.
Oh,
this
it's
would
a
be the
straight.
most impressive. Oh,
Straight kickoff.
How fast is RedBot, and is it a closer kickoff? It's an equal tied record. Based on 2 matches, we've set a record and tied the record. What are the odds of that one?
And not only did we have 2 of them, but there were also 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's just, what are the odds of that? And I mean, it's a fast end to that match, and now we'll definitely see on the whether or not they've played. I do seem to remember RedBot versus Cheesing now, so you may have been correct. But
no, we were wrong.
I was correct. You see, look at me go. You see, sometimes I know.
Wait, you just said the opposite. You just
No, I said
you
I thought I remembered it, but I said at the start that there was going to be 2 more matches, and you told me.
Got him.
He's throwing me
RedBot
off,
versus Cheesing.
I mean, it's the kickoffs.
Versus Joshida. What are you saying?
I was about to say it was the kickoffs. It's both people speed run the kickoffs. So I guess whoever wins this one gets to keep the title. And Cheesing, 5 seconds in, not as fast as the last lot, but still a very fast first goal.
Yeah, we are 5 seconds in, so this match is basically already longer than the 2 previous matches combined.
Ooh,
yeah, just 2 more seconds. Can Cheesing score within that? Yes, okay. So we still haven't beaten the 2 last matches combined, but with the third kickoff we hopefully are. Very convincing here from Cheesing. Sorry,
I
what?
mean, I don't think we're gonna do it, but I will say Cheesing, I mean, finally the kickoff's gone in favor of RedBot, but Cheesing so far, I think Cheesing deserves the record, or not the record, but at least recognition of the record, as not only did he get it first, not only was RedBot copying Cheesing, but Cheesing has just completely obliterated RedBot straight afterwards, showing maybe Cheesing kickoffs just slightly better, and therefore maybe slightly more deserving of the title of fastest kickoffer in the West.
In any case, this is definitely game, and it's the last game of today, unless we're gonna be very surprised in a moment, but
I don't think we are. So.
I don't think that's possible in any way. There we go, the last lock is in place, and that means we did actually end up with a fully sorted ladder here, there were a chance we didn't get that, but with some unlucky matches in the middle, it means that this is going to be the ladder. It's the final sorting, and the top 8 bots that you see here, Bumblebee, Doge, RedBot, King, Filament, Bribblebot, Stardust, and Buddy are the 8 bots that's going to proceed to the elimination stage and have a chance to win the finals.
And I mean, I believe, you'll correct me on the dates because you know the dates, but I believe the hard-coded final happens on the 3rd of September, if I'm correct.
The hard-coded is September 2nd.
September. You see, I knew I was close. But yeah, I mean, we've got what? Tomorrow we have the machine learning final week of the bubble sort, and then now that I know the dates, September 3rd is the machine learning finals, which,
yes.
I mean, Saturday for hard-coded, Sunday for machine learning. It's a great way to have things. It means that it's basically non-stop action both this weekend and next weekend. Or not next weekend,
Yeah,
but
next weekend is
September
going
weekend.
to be a break. Bot makers are gonna have to, they have a chance to update their bots if there's anything they want to change before the finals. But yeah, then in 2 weeks we're going to see them play out and see who's gonna win. But of course there's also the machine learning action, as you're mentioning. Tomorrow we are going to find the top 8 machine learning bots, and that's also going to be super exciting. They play at a bit higher skill level than this, so yeah, it's kind of crazy to watch. And there's also been quite a few updates for that. Let me see.
Ooh.
Did I have any new bots? There are no new bots though. But we do have some updates. So look forward to that. And with that, I don't think there's anything else we have to say. Just remember to show up tomorrow. Remember the tournaments or the elimination stage in 2 weeks. And I hope to see you there. You're going to be there too.
Oh yeah, I am, yeah. It's me and you again. They're stuck with us.
So see you all there. Have fun until that. Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.